You sit in a meeting. A colleague is talking. Confidently, loudly. They clearly have no idea what they're talking about. But they don't realize it. Everyone else sees it. But they don't. How is that possible? Here's a darker question. How do you know you're not that person? Because here's the truth. The less you know about something, the more confident you feel. The more you learn, the less confident you become. It's called the Dunning-Kruger Effect. And you've experienced it. Maybe you learned to drive and thought you were amazing after 2 weeks. Picked up a guitar and assumed you'd be performing in 6 months. Started a business and expected instant success. We've all been there. That dangerous place where ignorance feels like expertise. Where confidence has nothing to do with competence. In this video, I'm breaking down the Dunning-Kruger Effect. What it is, why it happens, and how to recognize it in yourself before it's too late. Let's go. In 1999, 2 psychologists at Cornell ran an experiment. David Dunning and Justin Kruger. They gave people tests, logic, grammar, humor. Then they asked, "How well do you think you did?" The results were shocking. The people who scored in the bottom 25%, the ones who failed, estimated they were in the top 60%. They didn't just lack the skill. They lacked the ability to recognize they lacked the skill. Dunning and Kruger called this illusory superiority. But it gets weirder. The people who scored in the top 25%, the actual experts, underestimated their performance. They assumed everyone else knew what they knew. This is the Dunning-Kruger Effect. Unskilled people overestimate their ability. Skilled people underestimate theirs. And it happens everywhere. A study of medical residents found the worst-performing doctors rated themselves above average. A study of drivers found 93% believe they're better than average. Statistically impossible. Psychologically predictable. Because competence isn't just about what you know. It's about knowing what you don't know. So why does this happen? 2 reasons. Reason 1, you can't see what you can't see. When you're unskilled, you don't just lack knowledge. You lack the knowledge needed to recognize you lack knowledge. It's a double curse. You don't know what you don't know, and you don't know that you don't know. Here's an analogy. Imagine judging a piano performance when you've never played piano. You hear someone play? It sounds good to you. You don't hear the mistakes. You don't notice the poor technique, because you lack the expertise to evaluate expertise. Now imagine you play piano, badly, and someone asks you to rate yourself. You think you're great, because you can't hear what a trained ear hears. That's the Dunning-Kruger Effect. Reason 2, confidence comes before competence. When you start learning something, progress feels fast. You go from 0 to basic quickly. After a few weeks of guitar, you can play a few chords. You think, this is easy, I'm a natural. But you haven't reached the hard part yet. You don't know about music theory. Fingerpicking, rhythm, dynamics, improvisation. You're standing at the base of a mountain thinking you've reached the summit. Psychologists call this Mount Stupid. The peak of unwarranted confidence. Where beginners feel like experts because they don't yet understand the depth of the skill. Understanding the Dunning-Kruger effect requires understanding how competence actually develops. There are 4 stages. Stage 1, unconscious incompetence. You don't know what you don't know. You're bad at something, and you don't realize it. Example, you've never driven a car. You assume it's easy. This is Mount Stupid. Maximum confidence, minimum competence. Stage 2, conscious incompetence. You start learning, and you realize how much you suck. You know what you don't know. Example, you take your first driving lesson, and you realize there are mirrors, blind spots, gears, traffic rules, parallel parking, highway merging. This is the valley of despair. Your confidence crashes. But this is where real learning begins. Most people quit here. They thought they'd be good quickly. They're not. So they give up. But the people who push through this stage become competent. Stage 3, conscious competence. You're skilled. But it requires effort. You can drive, but you have to think about every move. Check mirror, signal, check blind spot. Merge. You're no longer incompetent, but you're not fluid yet. Stage 4, unconscious competence. You're so skilled it's automatic. You drive without thinking. You've internalized the skill. This is mastery. And here's the paradox. True experts know how much they don't know. They've seen the depth of the field. They've encountered the edge cases, the exceptions, the complexity. So they're humble. Meanwhile, the beginner at stage 1 thinks they know everything. Here's the scary part. You can't feel the Dunning-Kruger effect when you're in it. That's the whole problem. But there are warning signs. Sign 1. You feel confident very quickly. You learn something new, and within days or weeks, you think you've mastered it. Red flag. Mastery takes years, not weeks. If you feel like an expert after a short time, you're probably on Mount Stupid. Sign 2. You don't ask questions. Beginners who think they're experts stop asking questions. They assume they already know. True learners are curious. They know there's more to discover. If you're not asking questions, you're not learning. Sign 3. You're dismissive of others' expertise. I could do that. That's not that hard. I don't see what the big deal is. If you're dismissing experts, you likely don't understand the depth of what they do. Sign 4. Feedback surprises you. Someone gives you feedback, and you're shocked. What? I thought I was doing great. That's a Dunning-Kruger moment. Your self-assessment was wildly off from reality. Sign 5. You've never experienced the valley of despair. If you've been learning something and you've never felt overwhelmed, confused, or incompetent, you haven't gone deep enough. Real learning hurts, so how do you escape the Dunning-Kruger effect? Step 1. Seek feedback actively. You can't see your blind spots, but others can. Ask for honest feedback from people who are more skilled than you. Not friends who will be nice, experts who will be real. Step 2. Test yourself objectively. Stop relying on how you feel. Take real tests. Compete. Measure performance. Dunning and Kruger found that when people saw objective results, their self-assessment improved. Reality is the cure for illusion. Step 3. Learn from experts. Spend time with people who are better than you. You'll quickly realize how much you don't know. The more you're exposed to true mastery, the more humble you become. Step 4. Embrace the valley of despair. When you start feeling incompetent, don't quit. That's the sign you're learning. You've graduated from Mount Stupid to conscious incompetence. This is progress. Step 5. Assume you're wrong. Intellectual humility. Assume that on any topic, you know less than you think. Assume there's depth you haven't seen. Assume experts have reasons for what they do that you don't yet understand. This mindset protects you from overconfidence. The smartest people I know say, "I don't know more than anyone else," because they've learned enough to know how much they don't know. Let's recap. The Dunning-Kruger effect is why unskilled people are overconfident and skilled people are humble. It happens because incompetence prevents you from recognizing incompetence. There are 4 stages of competence: unconscious incompetence, Mount Stupid; conscious incompetence, valley of despair; conscious competence, unconscious competence; mastery. To escape the trap, seek feedback, test yourself objectively, learn from experts, embrace the struggle, assume you're wrong. The goal isn't to never be wrong. The goal is to know when you might be. Self-awareness beats overconfidence every time. If you found this valuable, hit subscribe. New videos every Tuesday and Friday on psychology, productivity, and self-improvement. And here's a question for the comments. What's one skill you thought you were great at until you learned more? Drop your answer below. Let's keep each other humble. Thanks for watching.